Are you an investor or a consumer in different areas of your life? What does it mean to be about your business? And then here's the differences so you know where you fall into, if you fall in any one of these categories. So in America, a lot of people they're not even considered citizens. Your government doesn't look at you as citizens. Your government looks at you as taxpayers because you are a source of revenue for the government. So the government looks at people as taxpayers. And the government looks at you as consumers because they need you to consume things, which keeps the economy going. We're a consumer-driven economy. So they need you to consume shit so that the economy keeps going, and they need you to pay taxes. So that's how they get money to do all the things that they promise, and they overpromise and they can't really deliver on. So they continually need you to make money, pay taxes, and consume stuff. So now, how do you become an investor? And the whole phrase about investing in yourself, what does that even mean? Because I think a lot of people don't really understand that phrase. It becomes like these buzzwords like generational wealth, invest in yourself, all these different things. But like, what does that even mean for you? So I want to break that down and talk about that here in this video from my perspective, what I think it means for me and how I have used those two things. So conceptually, a lot of people don't always understand paying to attend events, right? So I've spent a lot of money to go to events, to get in different rooms. Now, when you're investing in yourself, sometimes it's not a direct monetary return. Meaning, if I buy an investment, I expect this investment to perform and bring me a return. If I invest in myself, or if I invest to get access to certain people or certain things, then it may or may not bring me a direct return. An example of that would be Chelsea and I, my wife and I, go to a lot of different events. So we went to these events where the tickets, somebody would ask me, you paid 10 grand to go to this event? I'm like, no, we paid 20 because it was my wife and I. And I'm like, but why do you think I paid? Why don't you think I invested this money? And they were like, oh, I would never pay that much to go to any event. That's stupid. You're stupid. And I'm like, you couldn't even do it. How do you know what you would do if you're not even in a financial position to do it? So somebody who doesn't have the money where they could spend 10 grand or 20 grand to go to an event is trying to tell me that they would never do it. Well, of course you'd never do it if you're not financially in a position to do it. You understand? So how don't you know that if I attend this event, I'm going there with other people who've paid the same amount of money to be there? What does that tell me about the person? What about tell me about the crowd that's there? Well, it tells me a few things. One, they believe in investing in themselves because they literally put money into going to learn or grow or something. It tells me they also believe in connecting. When somebody spends $10,000 to go to an event, what are they doing? They're wanting to connect with other people who spend $10,000 to go to that event. They want to be around people who are at their level. They don't want to go to the event and sit where somebody who paid $100 to get the event. They don't want to sit there because that's who they are. And so they realize, okay, if I want to connect with my peers and other people at that level, this is the price of admission and access for me to go do that. So easily, Chelsea and I spend 6 figures a year on our personal development. Now, why do we do that? Because I'm trying to make myself more able. How am I going to make myself more able if I never invest in myself to grow myself? How am I going to grow my business if I don't grow myself? That's the first thing. People are like, I want to grow my business. Well, how have you grown? How have you grown as an individual? You can't grow your business if you don't grow yourself. Because who's running the business? Who's running your household? Everybody's like, I want to make more money. Okay, how have you increased your skills? You realize your skills and your ability to communicate your skill set determines what you're getting paid on this planet. So we've got an agreement on this planet that this skill set is worth this much in this country to these people. That's the range of that skill set. And this skill set, if you can solve these problems, is worth this much. So somebody who works, there's a quick, people always talk about McDonald's workers, okay? So somebody who works at McDonald's earns a certain income. Somebody who goes and acquires the skill set to be a surgeon earns a different level of income. Somebody who becomes an anesthesiologist, and one of the highest paid medical professionals, by the way. So if you guys go in the medical field and you think anesthesiology might be something you're interested in, yeah, they go from making like 50 grand a year to like 300 grand a year once they get in there, 400 grand a year. They're very, very well paid. Now, why? Because somebody goes under to go do surgery, you have to come back from being under. You can't stay under. So somebody has to like make sure you go under, monitor, making sure you stay under, and then you come back from being under after the surgery. So understand that is a very important skill set because you don't want to go into the surgery and not wake back up, okay? So it's a very important skill set versus if I was making a hamburger at McDonald's. It's a lower level skill set. So this is not anything new, but the concept is how are you looking at and investing in your own skill set? So I pay a trainer. Our trainer makes up all my workouts. And then the trainer also coaches me on macronutrients. How much proteins, fats, and carbs do I need to eat every day to reach my goals, right? So I've got my macronutrients and I got my workouts. Now, understand, when I invest in those services, I don't get a direct return. I don't get a direct monetary return. However, if I'm in better physical condition, don't I have better energy? Can I do more? Can I then make more money? So you see how I can tie everything I'm doing to how it is going to put me in a better survival condition. And a lot of people are like, well, it's not all about money. It's not all about money. It's about your health. It's about your fitness. It's about how you show up. It's about your mental energy. I guarantee you, all the body positivity people, if you're fat, to some degree, your mental energy is on you being fat. Because you're like, do these pants do these pants fit? Do I not look good in this outfit? Do I not look good in this? All that. Some of your mental energy, instead of going towards creating more survival, you're thinking about how your body looks. So all of this is important. When it comes down to the concept of you actually understanding what it takes to invest in yourself. So do you spend money on yourself? I'm not talking about spend money to go to the spa, spend money on clothes so you look good, spend money cutting your hair. All these things are great. But do you spend money increasing your abilities? Do you spend money on increasing your knowledge so that your skill set becomes even more solid? Do you spend money increasing your financial intelligence so that you can be a badass financial manager, financial creator of wealth? Do you spend time and money on these things? Do you spend time? Do you know how many people I know who have accumulated millions of dollars but don't know what to do next? They know how to run a business. A lot of them are blue collar folks. They're like, I know how to use my hands. I know how to do my business. And they've accumulated millions of dollars, but then they don't know what to do next. So you have a cycle. You have to get the money, then you got to keep the money, then you got to grow the money, and then you got to pass on the money, right? That's your cycle. It's your financial cycle of life. So now somebody has to be the first guy to really get some money in their family. So then if you're the person who really gets some money, then you make the money. Do you know how to keep it? Do you know how to be disciplined enough to where you can run your lifestyle, pay your taxes, do all the things you need to do, strategize to reduce your taxes, and keep most of that money? Or do you just let that be decided for you? Do you just allow it to be decided for you that the government takes whatever they want to take from you and then you just let it happen? Do you just let that all happen? And then secondly, do you know how to then grow the money? Well, if you don't know these things, then you need to increase your financial intelligence. And then what are you doing to increase that? How are you actually spending time on that? Do you invest in your own knowledge? So like for somebody like me, I've bought I've bought courses. I'm in different peer groups. I pay to get access to peer groups. Peer means my P-E-E-R, my peer, right? People who are at the same level as me. So why do I pay to get access to my peer group? Because I want to be, everybody seems to know this to be true. You're the 5 people you hang around with. Okay, Well, don't I want to hang around with very affluent people then? Don't I want to hang around with people who are richer? Don't I want to hang around with some of these kinds of people? Well, what value am I going to bring to hang around with some of these kinds of people? So some of the way I do that, the value I bring is I pay so that I can get around some of these different people. Understand, when I spent money, tens of thousands of dollars to go to events and I meet people there, do you know that translates into hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue for me? But it's not a direct investment, so people can't see that. They think of it like spending money. The other day I saw a check that Chelsea had written for $25,000 for something we're doing a while back. I'm like, oh, okay, so it was an old check and she had to shred it. And so I remember looking at that and I said, my wife doesn't have to ask my permission to spend, or rather invest, 25 grand on something that will improve ourselves, our financial position. She doesn't have to ask my permission. A lot of you guys out there, and that's, for example, it didn't start off that way. We've got to that stage. If she's going to do something that is pro-survival to help us and our family, why does she need to ask me permission? I trust her judgment. So why does she doesn't need to ask me permission. Do you need to ask your wife's permission? Do you need to ask your husband's permission? If you're doing something that is going to benefit your family or your business, do you need to ask their permission to do it? So, because a lot of times people say that, oh, I got to talk to my wife or ask my wife. I don't need to ask my wife. And she's also my business partner, by the way. So understand, this is not a knock or anything like that. I'm saying get to a position where this becomes real to you, where you can invest in yourself without reservations, where you're like, oh, I'm scared to do it. I'm scared to invest in myself. I'm scared to buy this thing. It doesn't matter if you buy things from us or not. I'm just saying personal development matters. You're not going to run a business effectively if you're not in the best condition you can be in. Every time I've had growth in my business, it was always preceded by me first investing in some area of myself so that I could be more capable in order to handle more things. Before I opened this office we're in right now, I opened this office 2 years ago, opened a new office, all of that, hired some people for this office, all these different things. Before we did that, Chelsea and I, we jumped in a program where it was $15,000 each. So we spent 30 grand on that. And because we got in there so that we can look at things strategically. Why do I say all of these things to you? Because you have to understand, if you're not around people who are investing in themselves to grow, to expand their mindset and their thinking and all these different things, then you're going to miss out on tremendous opportunities because you can't always see your blind spots. Because you're in the picture, so you can't always see your blind spots. But once you start to get into a position where you're like, hey, I need to be able to invest in myself and put money into myself because I am my greatest asset. That's how you do it. You increase your skill sets. You increase your skill sets, and then you will command more money. Nobody's just gonna give you more money for doing the same shit. You realize that. Nobody's gonna just give you more money for doing the same thing. Because what's the value exchange there? So you have to say, I've learned how to do this other thing, now I can command more money. I've learned how to do this other stuff, now I can command more money. So if you are like a receptionist, if you're at an office, you're a receptionist, and you're like, you get paid for being a receptionist, and you're like, I want to get paid more money, how do I go about doing that? Well, you can start a side business, or right within your same company, you can say, you know what? I'm going to learn how to sign people up for additional services. And now I'm going to be an asset, a value asset. I'm going to bring in more revenue to that company so that they can pay me. And I'll go to my employer and say, I know you're paying me for being a receptionist, but if you can train me, or if I can learn how to do sales or get people to sign up for other products and services, can I get a portion of that? And now you've negotiated a pay increase. Of course, your boss is going to say yes, because you're going to bring more money into the company and they're going to give a portion of that to you. So you now increase your skill set. Every day I'm thinking about increasing my skill set. How can I be more valuable to our marketplace? How can I be more valuable to our clients and customers? How can I be more valuable? How can I invest even more in myself so that I can deliver better? How do we also invest in our team so we can deliver better? How do we hire better, enough skilled people and train them so that they can deliver well? All of these are things that you need to be able to do. So, hey, if you want help in these areas, always ask for help. If you're like, I'm not even sure what to invest in myself, how I should be investing myself, what things I should be learning, you can always reach out and ask for help. Reach out to us and ask for help, and we'll be happy to help you. So, invest in yourself, put real dollars into your skill set, and do the work so that you can monetize your skill set at a higher level, and you'll command more money, and that will allow you to invest even more in yourself so you can move to higher and higher financial heights. So once again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.